2009, California
Into
hospitals
your
willingly
trespass
pay a
suspect,
Medi-Cal hospital fee to continue
445
receiving
South
federal
Union
matching
Street,
funds
Aurora,
for
found by the
Medi-Cal,
male with mental illness
bringing us $3
at
billion
Union
a
Bank
year,
Plaza.
providing
Subject
health care
is
for
a male,
children,
white, brown
seniors, and
shirt,
families,
black pants,
zero consumer cost, no new taxes,
white
and prevents the
Christian black
legislature
shoes
from
with
diverting
white
funds.
stripes.
Maybe
Correct
that's
me,
why
wear
it's
brown
got
pants, brown
such
shirt,
broad
black shoes with
support
white
and
stripes.
no organized opposition. It's a
Has
good
become
idea that's
violent
been
and being held
tested,
down
tried,
by
and
security.
true.
Now
Yes,
code
on 52.
323794141.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Mathis Brothers Furniture, the largest selection of all the best brands at the lowest prices every day. Mathis Brothers on the 10 in Ontario.
Time at 10 brought to you by
88
Morongo
Candle
Casino
Beach,
Resort and
10,000,
Spa.
Officer
Good
holding
times.
484 suspect north of and Richmond, Devon, code 21755
Well, he is the boss, and he's not just born to run, he's born to write. Hundreds of Bruce Springsteen fans descended on the Grove today for a chance to meet the legend himself at a book signing. Fans laughed, cried, and even kissed the boss. Eyewitness News reporter Darsha Phillips was there.
Fans of Bruce Springsteen could barely contain their excitement as they filed into the Barnes & Noble at the Grove for a once-in-a-lifetime meet and greet with the boss himself.
I've been a fan since I was 14, and my sister and I travel around the world to see him, and we've never met him.
Someone you've seen perform your whole, I've been watching Bruce for years, and just to be that close to say hi for a sec is like nothing else.
Springsteen arrived an hour and a half early. Fans got a picture with the musical legend and a pre-signed copy of his book, Born to Run. Raul Rosell even got a question in.
I actually had a question for him, just a simple question. It was, did you jump over the fence at Graceland at Elvis's house? And he said, yeah, I did. So there you have it.
Many people waited in line for hours, some even days, just for a few seconds, but they said it was well worth it.
We've been here for 24 hours, and that was the best 10 seconds of my life.
We got here, so we spent the night on the street for a couple of nights, but it was well worth it.
Only for him would I spend the night on the sidewalk.
You see Bruce and it's like amazing.
It's well worth
awesome. Bucket list.
The line wrapped around the Grove Shopping Center. Though fans only got a moment with Bruce, some really made the most of those few precious seconds.
I asked him if I could kiss him, and he hesitated, and then I did not wait. I kissed him, so I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Reporting from the Grove, I'm Darsha Phillips, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Big fans there. Wow, 24 hours. That's pretty amazing. Right. Thanks for joining us for Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock. World News Tonight with David Muir is coming up next.
Get your news 24 hours a day at our website, abc7.com, and by following us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can join the circle of eyewitnesses by using the hashtag ABC7Eyewitness when you post on social media. See your image here on Eyewitness News.
We'll see you for Eyewitness News at 11 tonight here on ABC 7. Have a great night.
Every year in America, over 10,000 people are wrongly convicted. That's why the Conviction Integrity Unit has been assembled.
You get 5 days.
For each case?
You've got a team.
Tinkerbell? Let's get to work.
To right those wrongs.
Was it me?
To protect the innocent.
We're running out of time.
To uncover the truth. From the executive producer of Criminal Minds.
This unit could do good.
Conviction. Series premiere tonight, 10/9 Central on ABC.
Requesting a Devonshire Unit 7555 Van Nuys Boulevard, DCFS facility for Devonshire occurrence incident 3521.
Per copy, you can cancel 23.
Pruitt Street. 2753 Pruitt Street. Suspect is a female Hispanic, 33 years, no further to the vehicle is a gray Honda Civic 2005. Left-hand driving south on Minnesota towards Johnson. Code 3 incident 3865. RD416. Home available. Handle identify.
And it's mission call.
Daughter, sister, friend, lover. One tough, dedicated, opinionated, most days over-caffeinated. Pigtail master, multitasker. Here's to everything you do. Put your best foot forward every day. Famous Footwear.
Officers stated, and also body cam video from Sunday shows the suspect in that case pointing his weapon at police. But if the video confirms the officer's claims, the big question has been, why won't LAPD Chief Charlie Beck release it?
C is in Charles.
Of course, this is a national conversation about videos, and there is the, we try to balance transparency and accountability. The reality is that we seek the truth. And, video is part of the truth, but it is not the totality of the truth, and it has to be tempered with all the evidence. So we're looking for the right way at the right time.
And the LA Police Protective League also spoke today supporting what Chief Charlie Beck said, but also wanted to make the point that less than 0.5% of officer calls result in violence. And they said it's incredibly dangerous when this misinformation gets spread amongst protesters and is used to cause unrest. More coming for sure in the days to follow. But for now, reporting live from downtown LA, I'm Christina Pascucci, KTLA 5 News.
Christina, to follow up, will they release that video? And if not, why not?
Well, like you heard Chief Charlie Beck say, there's a lot that goes into it. They want to wait to see what the coroner says. The autopsy hasn't been done yet for Mr. Snell, so they want to see the outcome of that. Also, any sort of witness reports. If witnesses were to speak and that video were to come out beforehand, maybe they would be able to see that video and change their testimony based on what the video shows. So Chief Beck said it is possible the video will be released, but he'd like to release it in its totality, possibly in the coming days once the investigation is more along, Micah.
Got it. Christina Pascucci, downtown, thank you. A man is in custody for reportedly shooting another man in the chest near a hiking trail. Orange County Bureau Chief Chip Yost is live in Yorba Linda with details. Chip.
Yeah, hi there, Michael. We now know the name of the 73-year-old arrested in this case. We actually went over to his house a little bit ago and talked to a neighbor. She had no idea this had happened, had no idea of the arrest. She was in shock and said this sounds nothing like the neighbor she knows.
It was along this trail in Yorba Linda, near a dried-up lake bed, that people who live around here heard something that was definitely out of the ordinary.
I was sitting down in my living room, which is on the other side of the hill, of the dried-up lake bed, and from there, my girlfriend's dad was all like, "Did you hear that? Did you hear that?" It was a gunshot. And from that gunshot, I came. You're not supposed to go outside if you hear a gunshot. It was super close. You just pop. And from there, came outside, ran up the hill, and I see the cops yelling, telling the guy to get on the ground, let the gun go, let the gun go. And the wife was just panicking, saying, "He's not going to shoot, he's not going to shoot."
Sheriff's investigators say the man with the gun was 73-year-old Jack Horn Jr., who lives almost right across the street from where the shooting happened. The man who was shot, believed to be in his 60s, was hit in the chest area and had to be airlifted to a local hospital.
He was shaking, his whole body was just shaking, his legs were just shaking really bad.
Now, as for what caused this shooting, all sheriff's deputies are saying right now is that it was some sort of argument. As for the condition of the man who was shot, we're told he's still in the hospital, but he is expected to survive. Reporting live in Yorba Linda, I'm Chip Yost, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Chip, thank you. A number of developments today on the heightened earthquake risk. Experts say the risk has significantly decreased. However, San Bernardino's City Hall remains closed as a precaution. Leaders in San Bernardino say the City Hall building cannot withstand a large earthquake, so they have closed it down until Wednesday and are postponing a city council meeting. However, this afternoon, seismologists say the earthquake risk is back down to its normal levels. They say the Salton Sea has not been rocked by small earthquakes over the past few days and that we are no longer on a heightened level of risk. as a result. The issue of Donald Trump's taxes taking center stage in the presidential election, a new report claiming the Republican nominee may have avoided paying federal income tax for decades. KTLA's John Fenolio live in the newsroom with details. John.
Well, Micah, first the numbers. A new CNN ORC poll out today gives Hillary Clinton a 5-point lead nationally, topping Donald Trump 47% to 42% in a four-way race among likely voters. This as Trump's paper trail is creating major headaches on the campaign trail. In battleground Colorado, Donald Trump is on the defensive about his tax returns.
The news media is now obsessed with an alleged tax filing from the 1990s.
First published by the New York Times Saturday, 3 pages of what the Times says are Trump's 1995 tax return, which appear to show he reported a $916 million loss that year. The loss means Trump could have avoided paying any federal income tax for nearly 2 decades. Hillary Clinton seizing on the report in must-win Ohio.
Here's my question. What kind of genius loses $1 billion in a single year?
Trump and his team are not challenging any of the reporting, instead offering this spin.
There's no one who's shown more genius in their way to maneuver around the tax code.
The man's a genius. I have brilliantly used those laws.
This as the Republican nominee faces new scrutiny after appearing to suggest that veterans with PTSD may not have been strong enough to handle the post-traumatic stress of war.
When people come back from war and combat and they see things that maybe a lot of the folks in this room have seen many times over, and you're strong and you can handle it, but a lot of people can't handle it.
Vice President Joe Biden blasting Trump's comments at a rally in Florida.
But as a veteran can tell you, over 200,000 coming home with unseen wounds. 20 suicides a month. He is just so thoroughly, completely uninformed.
New York's Attorney General is taking action against the Trump Foundation, today delivering a cease and desist order saying that the foundation violated the law by fundraising while not being properly registered as a charity in the state. Trump's campaign says the foundation intends to cooperate fully with the investigation, but it also says it's concerned about possible political motives behind the Attorney General's decision. Look for the vice presidential candidates Tim Kaine and Mike Pence to face off tomorrow in their first and only debate this election. Live in the newsroom, I'm John Fenolio. Back to you in the studio.
John, thank you. Kim Kardashian is back in New York tonight after being bound, gagged, and robbed at gunpoint in Paris. She arrived to her city apartment along with her husband Kanye West, accompanied by a large security detail. Police in France say she was tied up and gagged in her Paris hotel room, while armed, masked men posing as police officers grabbed roughly $10 million worth of jewelry. West was actually on stage in New York, and when he heard the news, he abruptly stopped the show.
I'm sorry, this is a family emergency. I have to stop the show.
A rep for Kardashian says she is badly shaken but physically unharmed, and that security will be increased. She was in Paris for Fashion Week. Still to come tonight at 6:30, is your cell phone sick? The Apple customers complaining about touch disease. Plus this.
Camping out for days to get a selfie with the boss. I'm Courtney Friel at the Grove, where some diehard fans had the chance to meet Bruce Springsteen today. The story straight ahead.
It's Black Monday in baseball. The axe dropping in Phoenix, in Miami, in Colorado. We'll tell you who's out. Plus, the Dodgers hit the reset button as they get ready for the Nationals. We'll hear from Dave Roberts coming up. Plus Vera.
Thank you, Darren. Good evening, everyone. We're going to take a look at your extended forecast. In the meantime, here are some weather headlines for you. Those temperatures will remain below average tomorrow. We'll see more northerly winds, and then, well, things are going to change. The Santa Anas come back, and so does the heat. I'll have the details in a few minutes.
Daughter, sister, friend, lover. One tough, dedicated, opinionated, most days over-caffeinated. Springboard, sounding board, keep my kids from getting bored. No drama, hot mama. Pigtail master, stress blaster. Alarm ringer, pancake slinger. Lunch packer, multitasker. Here's to everything you do to put your best foot forward every day. Famous Footwear.
Getting free stuff is like my superpower. Among the freeple, they call me the king of free. But there's other titles too, you know, the Tsar of Zilch, the Duke of Nada. It's not just about getting free stuff. It's about getting great stuff for free. These are bars of soap. Look at this stuff. This is quality stuff. This is French milled. This is lavender. This is jojoba oil. I don't even know what that is. I'm pretty sure it's exotic, but I know it's free.
Freeple get great stuff for free, and they get their free Experian credit report from freecreditreport.com. No credit card required.
China's appetite for California almonds is on the rise. As one of the world's largest suppliers, SunnyGem recognized a real growth opportunity when they saw one. So did East West Bank. Through the power of our connections, SunnyGem almonds are showing up in backpacks and gym bags across the Pacific, spreading happiness to millions. See how far we could take you. Reach further with East West Bank.
Apple is in hot water over what some are calling the touch disease. People in the U.S. and Canada have filed suits saying their iPhone 6 occasionally stops working. They say the touchscreen freezes up, leaving them unable to text or call, and they say Apple knew about the problem but did nothing to fix it. They say Apple has been charging customers $300 to fix the problem. Apple has not yet commented on the lawsuits. Just like the Springsteen song, fans of The Boss are on fire to meet the music star at his book signing at the Grove. Bruce's new book, look at that line. The new book is called Born to Run. Fans stood in that line, some for 3 days, just for a few moments, at a selfie with the rock legend. KTLA's Courtney Friel was there for the excitement of the Fairfax district.
1,100 hardcore Bruce Springsteen fans had the extremely brief chance to get their picture taken with the rock star this morning at the Grove's Barnes & Noble store after camping out for days to get the wristband. Was it all worth it?
Oh, I would do it again twofold.
Sherman Oaks resident Lisa Fortenberry earned the first spot in line after getting here on Friday night.
It was shorter than I expected. I would have liked to have actually said something to him, but he hugged me.
The photo op was to promote Springsteen's new 500-page memoir, Born to Run. Those with wristbands received a pre-signed copy, but Alice Ann Grusin, who's seen 30 Springsteen concerts, already pre-ordered and read it. I like how you rested your head on his shoulder, like you're a couple.
I wanted to wrap my body around him. I did.
And what are you going to do with the picture?
I'm going to send it to everyone I know.
And blow it up?
And blow it up and hang it on my wall and kiss it before I go to bed every night.
The younger generation wasn't too present. Mom Jean Mortimer had to convince her 14-year-old daughter Dylan to camp out with her.
I bribed her by going to the outlet malls after this. I had the East Street channel on my car, and she always wants to change it to Hits 1.
But if there's anyone who can convert Dylan into a Bruce fan, it's our own Doug Kolk, who's been to 32 concerts, which I heard all about the first time we met. And you told me you had like 19 Bruce Springsteen posters in your apartment.
Probably 24.
Why do you love it so much?
I stare at them at night before I go to bed.
And sadly for Doug, he did not get in. He came here to try to get a picture, but they cut him off. Only 1,100 people were allowed in. Now, a lot of buzz on his book is that Bruce wrote about his battle with depression and some of the mental health issues in his family as well. So it's available now, Born to Run. Reporting live from the Grove, I'm Courtney Friel. Back to you.
Boy, his incredible popularity, so apparent there.
Yeah, poor Doug.
Yeah. You know what? He's seen so many of the concerts.
Yeah.
And
They knew.
they knew.
They knew.
Yeah.
They knew. Micah, what about this afternoon's weather?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Wasn't it nice?
It was.
It was. It was really nice. So if you enjoyed today,
Yeah.
you're going to enjoy tomorrow because we're going to see temperatures once again below average. But before we get to our local weather, we are going to talk a little bit about Hurricane Matthew in case you missed it earlier, because again, this is a Category 4 hurricane, and wow, is it packing a punch. Category 4 sustained winds right now of 140 miles per hour with gusts to 165 miles per hour. It is moving in a north-northeasterly direction at about 8 miles per hour. And as you can see, it is going to go from Jamaica up to Cuba, into the Bahamas, all the way. And it's going to skirt Florida. And not only that, but from the center of the eye outward, it stretches about 40 miles now. And that's not the largest extent that we have seen, but that is still going to be very, very impressive. And in fact, in Cuba, when it skirts it, it is going to produce a storm surge of 7 to 11 feet. So a lot of damage, some very dangerous conditions there, the possibility of mudslides. So a lot going on, and the rain, oh boy, it is going to be very, very heavy. 76 degrees this afternoon. That was 4 degrees below average. And again, as I mentioned, we are going to see temperatures remain below average as we make our way into tomorrow. Those are some current temperatures. There is that area of low pressure that is going to continue to track to the east, but right behind it, we're going to see a small area of low pressure develop just off our coast. So again, tomorrow we are going to see more of that onshore flow. We're going to see a little bit of marine layer, but it really is about a cooler air mass that's filtering through. Behind it, this area of high pressure is beginning to develop. That's going to push on shore, and as it does, it is going to produce a lot of sunshine because it's a ridge of high pressure. So that means less of that marine layer. And again, we're looking at Santa Ana winds. That means the winds are going to be moving from the mountains towards the Pacific, which means that our interior sections aren't going to be quite as warm as our coastal communities. This wind advisory will be with us until 12 p.m. tomorrow, really impacting, for the most part, Santa Barbara, Ventura, and LA County mountains and the interior sections. If you're going to be heading out towards the I-5 corridor or the 14, expect those strong winds. We're looking sustained winds between 15 and 25 miles per hour. Here are tomorrow's daytime highs. Going to be a very pleasant afternoon. If you like a little bit of that fall weather, 77 degrees in Hollywood, Santa Clarita 84, 80 in Lancaster, really nice. And along the coast in Oxnard, mostly clear skies by mid-morning, and we're looking at 72 degrees. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. Not looking too far ahead, but you know, we always like to take a peek at that weekend forecast. Upper 70s Tuesday, Wednesday, mid 80s to upper 80s on Thursday, and 93 on Friday, Saturday. LA Coastal Basin, we're looking at upper 70s Tuesday and Wednesday, and then a nice big jump on Thursday, and then another skip into the 90s, low 90s on Friday and Saturday. And even in Orange County, we're looking at that same trend. It looks like, you know, Thursday is going to be our average day before the weather gets hot again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a roller coaster, isn't
Yeah.
it? Thanks, Vera. Live to the newsroom, and Cher Calvin with a look at what we're working on for the news at 10 and 11. Cher.
Hi, Micah. Coming up tonight, a man mauled by a grizzly bear twice in the same morning. Talks about the attack moments after it happens.
Yeah, life sucks in bear country.
Oh my, he describes how he manages to get away alive and his warning to other hikers.
Here we go, they're taking down our signs.
And caught on camera taking down signs to a controversial citywide measure involving marijuana, and residents say a top city official is behind the wheel. And ghosts caught on camera. The owners of this historic hotel, they say it's haunted. We're going to show you what they call proof that the place is inhabited by the paranormal. Those stories, breaking news, and more tonight at 10 and 11. Hope you can join us. Micah, back to you.
All right, Cher, thanks. Monday Night Football in Minneapolis. Giants, Vikings, two NFC title contenders going at it. Darren Horton on the other side.
All is BOGO. My whole life is BOGO. Amongst the freeple, it means buy one, get one free. You know what I mean? You're welcome. Those sandwich places, the ones where you buy 9, get the 10th for free, but you find the right 9 people and it's like, blah, blah, get that 10 sandwich for free. Going to the same place for the past 7 years, each one of my dates. I mean, they don't call again, but I mean, I've got like 75 free sandwiches.
Freeple get great stuff for free, and they get their free Experian credit report from freecreditreport.com. No credit card required.
The entire country responded to a plea for prayers for 6-year-old Jacob Hall, but the first grader shot
Snack Street, the greatest snack-based boy band of all time. They're kicking off the Snack Street Remix Tour, and they've got a new single, Handful of Heaven, coming out.
Like most fairy tales, it has an unlikely beginning. Here's Jerika Duncan.
Every piece of mind, but the goal is to get him.
20-year-old Fiona Mutesi discovered a new way of thinking through chess.
You have to plan, you have to strategize, and also you have to have dreams.
Those dreams started here in one of the largest slums in Uganda, Katwe, where as a child Mutesi sold corn to help her family survive.
I dropped out of school at 6.
You dropped out of school at 6?
Yeah, so we didn't have anything. My mom had no money.
When she was 9, she stumbled upon a church chess program. At first, it wasn't the game that interested her.
I was just going back because I wanted a meal.
So you were going back to play because you needed food?
Yeah.
But things began to change when Mutesi met Robert Katende. He started the chess program as a way to empower children in Katwe. What was it about, Fiona?
Actually, the most intriguing factor was the determination to survive. She was grasping every concept you would teach her and try to use it well against other players.
So he signed her up for tournaments. She began winning and became the first female chess champion of her country. By 14, she competed in the Olympics of chess, beating adults, achieving status as an expert player.
I cannot just believe it that I'm a person right now here at this level, because I'm a person from nowhere.
Mutesi's journey is now a movie.
Checkmate! She won! She won! Fiona's won!
Disney's Queen of Katwe, featuring Oscar winner Lupita Nyong'o, who plays Mutesi's mother, and David Oyelowo, who plays her coach. What message do you have for other young people who were in similar situations as yourself?
Hope wins in everything you're doing.
Hope wins?
Yeah. It's up to you, like, to wake up, to stand, and then do something.
Spoken like a winner who says she never loses, she just learns. Jerika Duncan, CBS News, New York.
And that's the CBS Evening News for tonight. For all of us at CBS News, all around the world, good night.
Plenty of fine and dry weather to come this week, but it will turn colder from the east as an easterly wind develops, and nighttime frost will be more likely under clear skies. A chilly start on Tuesday, and although it's going to be cloudier than Monday, most places will be dry with bright or sunny spells. The rain across western parts of Ireland will fizzle out. Everybody's patience has run out. America suspends contact with Russia to resolve the Syria crisis. Awaiting the storm, Hurricane Matthew is skimming Jamaica and threatening Haiti. Under fire over his tax returns. Now Donald Trump's charity foundation is under scrutiny. No more legal claims. The UK's Prime Minister promises to protect British troops by withdrawing from the European Convention on Human Rights. And punish them. France's government vows to catch the gang who robbed Kim Kardashian at gunpoint. Welcome to World News. The United States has suspended talks with Russia over Syria after another bloody day in the country. The White House said they had nothing more to talk about and that America's patience after continued attacks had run out. In Aleppo, the largest hospital in the rebel-held part of the city is reported to have been destroyed. And in Douma, near Damascus, there were harrowing scenes as rescue workers pulled 2 young girls out of a bombed building. Our US correspondent Amanda Walker's report includes footage of that rescue.
The violence and tragedy in Syria just won't stop. Rescue workers do what they can in the aftermath of government airstrikes in the rebel-held town of Douma, north of Damascus. These terrified children can be offered little hope that their nightmare will end soon. Any solution to the 5-year conflict that the US and Russia could have achieved looks bleaker than ever.
The United States is suspending its participation in bilateral channels with Russia that were established to sustain the cessation of hostilities. This is not a decision we took lightly. The United States spared no effort in negotiating and attempting to implement an arrangement with Russia aimed at reducing violence, providing unhindered humanitarian access, and degrading terrorist organizations operating in Syria, including Daesh and Al-Qaeda in Syria. Unfortunately, Russia failed to live up to its own commitments.
US Secretary of State John Kerry threatened this move last week. Russia's increased role in backing Syrian government airstrikes appears to have forced the United States' hand. The largest hospital in the opposition-held eastern side of Aleppo has been bombed out of service. Doctors say these were deliberate and targeted attacks. The White House says everybody's patience with Russia has run out.
What we have seen from the Russians in the year or so since their military intervention in Syria is that they have not made much progress against ISIL. They claim that the reason that they're in Russia or in Syria is to fight extremists, but they haven't achieved a significant counter-ISIL objective in more than 7 months.
President Assad's Russian-backed military campaign in Aleppo has sparked international outrage. A Russia-US solution was always viewed with skepticism, but it was also billed as the war-torn country's last chance. Amanda Walker, Sky News, Washington.
The outer bands of the most powerful Atlantic hurricane in nearly a decade have already brought heavy rains and flooding to Jamaica. But Haiti is expecting to be harder hit, with Hurricane Matthew bringing winds of up to 130 miles an hour. The island country is already being drenched with heavy rain. And currently the storm is to the south of Jamaica in the Caribbean Sea. It's expected to make landfall later this morning on Haiti, with the eye of the storm likely to pass just west of the island's southwest tip. By the evening, it will continue north across the east of Cuba, very near to Guantanamo Bay. The storm's expected path will then veer westwards away from the Cuban coast and towards the Bahamas. Well, they've been watching and waiting in Jamaica for the worst of the storms to pass them. Our correspondent Cordelia Lynch has more from the capital, Kingston.
Lots of people being gathered here all day in anticipation of Hurricane Matthew. It's thought that it's around 200 miles southeast here of Kingston, Jamaica. Expected to be heavy rain tonight, but it's not due to make landfall here. Instead, concerns focused on Haiti and a very vulnerable infrastructure. Lots of people living in makeshift tents there after the earthquake of 2010. In terms of the size of this hurricane, well, they think up to 40 inches might fall of rain in Haiti and high winds as well, perhaps up to as much as 140 miles per hour. Already some evacuations taking place in Cuba and in Haiti. The problem is you have so many people that just simply can't get to the shelters that have been set up there.
Now, as questions continue to be asked about Donald Trump's alleged non-payment of taxes, his charitable foundation has now been ordered to stop fundraising in the state of New York. Prosecutors issued a notice of violation after determining that the Republican presidential nominees organisation had no proper registration. Our US correspondent Greg Milam has the details.
This is the newest concern for the Trump campaign. This is an announcement from the Attorney General of New York, who is an elected official and is a Democrat and is a Hillary Clinton supporter. We should remember that foundation, which Donald Trump says has handed out hundreds of millions over the years, didn't have the proper paperwork to be collecting money as a charity in New York. Now, there is an investigation. The outcome of that will take some time. The upshot could be that it's closed down eventually. The Trump campaign has said they're cooperating, but they've questioned the political motives of the Attorney General in making that announcement. But it's another distraction. The tax returns, of course, Donald Trump hasn't released his tax returns, but some pages from one back in the 1990s have emerged in the New York Times that show extraordinary things, that he made this almost $1 billion loss back in the mid-90s when his business was in real trouble. But the upshot of that is he didn't have to pay any federal tax for 18 years, 3 before, 15 after. So going to what Hillary Clinton has always said, that this suspicion that he doesn't pay taxes. And she has been, not surprisingly, hammering him on this point on the campaign trail.
Trump was taking from America with both hands and leaving the rest of us with the bill. Now, he says that he's the one who can fix things, but that is like letting the fox guard the hen house, right?
Now, the Trump campaign does say that this record on not paying tax is a sign of how smart Donald Trump was, and that maybe all Americans should learn from that, and they could all benefit from him being their president. But it is just another problem that his campaign has, and a distraction from talking about policy. There are more accusations about his treatment of women on the set of The Apprentice. And, of course, that tweet row that he had with a former Miss Universe. It's a problem for him. He continues in his campaigning to direct his attacks at Mrs. Clinton, not respond to any of these allegations.
Hillary Clinton's only experience in cybersecurity involves her criminal scheme to violate federal law, engineering a massive cover-up and putting the entire nation in harm's way.
And that's the problem that Donald Trump has at the moment, that everything he says is being poured over for any sign of insult or offence. Something he said about veterans again today has attracted a lot of criticism. And, of course, all of this is heading to the next debate on Sunday evening, and his need really to put his campaign back in order after not doing so well in the first one. And he's not really been able to get the focus back on policy and away from some of these controversies.
Greg Milam reporting there. Now more than 5,600 migrants have been rescued in the Mediterranean. The Italian Coast Guard said it was one of the highest numbers recorded on a single day. One migrant died and a pregnant woman had to be airlifted to hospital. Turkey says it will extend its state of emergency for a further 3 months. It was imposed after the failed military coup there in July. President Erdogan said he could keep the emergency powers for another year. A webcam has captured the eruption of one of Mexico's most active volcanoes. Authorities ordered the evacuation of 400 people as a precaution as the crater began spewing lava. A security parameter of 12 kilometres has also been imposed around the so-called volcano of fire in the western state of Colima. Colombia's president and the leader of the rebel FARC have both reiterated their desire for peace despite the public rejecting a peace deal which would have brought an end to the country's 52-year conflict. Further talks between government negotiators and rebel leaders in Havana may reveal a way forward. Colombians voted against the deal mainly because it included